from Australia. In less than 1 minute.
Calgary, Canada for the 2018 IPF Classic Powerlifting World Championships. I'm back here for the 52 kilo open women and joined by Ryan. 6-pack lap at that. We're waiting for this action to heat up at the Alico SBD and of course our brand new sponsor Uplift, bringing you these fantastic competitions. Ryan, what do you think about the 52s?
Look, we got a massive battle. Britain's Joy really came out in Belarus. A lot of people had overlooked her. I had overlooked her walking to those World Championships. Had to take the foot out of my mouth, eat my crow, brought her into the booth and said, look, you just excel beyond anybody's expectations, including mine. That will not happen this time. All eyes on Joy and Marisa Inda, and they're going to go battle it out. Inda, of course, the defending world champion in the 52 kilo class.
Well, we are kicking off now with Catherine Lecques from Austria wanting 95 kilograms to open up her campaign. And this should be a pretty reasonable opening lift. I don't imagine she's going to have too much trouble with this. Probably a little harder than what you'd want for an opening lift, though. You have to really work through the middle. She just gets pulled up on death by the head ref there, but she gets her 2 white lights, so she's on the board. Emma Goodwin, Great Britain, 107.5 kilograms. She has got quite an extensive lifting career and just recently competed at the European Powerlifting Championships in equipped, and then prior to that, about 2 months before that, did the British Women's Powerlifting Championships in the Raw. So she is competing equipped and raw multiple times throughout the year. She has a best squat of about 115 raw.
Nicely done.
And handles that very, very well. 3 white lights.
Britain really stacking the deck, having 2 lifters in the 52 kilo open.
Ana Paula Almeida from Brazil looking for 110.
Very strong lifter.
Yeah, she's a bit of a dark horse in the squats too.
Yeah, she's hit 115, but follow her on Instagram. Her training is on point. Time zone change won't be nearly as severe because they're just 2 hours south as opposed to east or west. So.
It's a little bit of an advantage there.
Oh, for sure.
She's got some world champion experience as well. Competed last year in Minsk. Whoa, just got out of the groove there. Just got out of the groove and pushed it forward.
Let's take a look at this. Yeah, she just
chest dropped down a little bit.
A stitch, but walking off the platform, she shook it off.
Sofia Waldemarson from Sweden wants 117.5. That's well below a PB as well. So she has squatted 127.5 before. But she's had a couple of tough championships where she's actually missed quite a few squats.
Not going to happen this time.
But she's got that sorted out.
Well done.
And that will get the nerves out of the road.
Yeah, takes a little pressure off.
Now Andy Carlisle from Australia.
You know much about this lifter being the coaching for that?
Yeah, look, I think she's probably one to watch in the bench.
Okay.
She's got a fairly solid bench on her. Good chance of maybe fighting her way up to the medals in the bench. Just taking her time there. And the Aussies have had a fantastic turnout here, especially being such a new federation.
Well, nicely handled.
Handles that very, very well. Bit
Don't
of
let stop.
bit
Yeah,
of an
that's what I
Aussie
wanted.
shout at the top there. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
Oh, just gets held on depth there. Let's have a look at the replay.
She looks a stitch rattled.
That's a tough call. It's a hard call, that one.
120. Wow, this is a pretty big jump.
Anna Komlova from Russia,
Now,
125.
Quick note here, when the IPF was first testing out the classic division in 2012, they had a World Cup tested out, and she actually won that World Cup.
Wow. And she has got a massive career in international and national events.
Absolutely.
You look through her recent results back to 2014, not a single result less than third place.
Oh, she's got a championship pedigree. This should be conservative for her.
Great technique, the chest up the whole time, never moved from it. He gets 3 white lights.
There's 4 women born in the 70s, despite this being the Open, aging like fine wine, and that's what I like to see because I also was born in the 70s. Gives you a little hope.
A child of the 70s.
Speaking of,
Joanna Reba from Canada,
Canada's own.
127.5.
She has a very big bench. She's also a wily veteran on the international scene.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's quite a few different medals up for grabs.
She's hit 140, so this should be well within her means.
Gets those knees out.
Have to
And
see.
drives it up. Let's see how the depth was.
Be on the line. Yep.
Yeah, she's deep enough. She gets 2 white lights.
Economical. You want to be economical. You want to make it, but you don't want to waste any energy going too low.
Suzanne Premi from New Zealand, 130 kilograms. And New Zealand, another team that's had a fantastic turnout.
Yeah, we have a lot of women here who are highly decorated. As they pop up, drop you the tidbits of information I picked up speaking with Matt Gary. He did some scouting on them. But some very big names in this field.
This is quite a big squat. She's developed her squat very well over the last couple of years. You know, we're only talking 2 years ago, she was still squatting 110s and 115s.
Wow.
And that 130 looked pretty good.
Yep, slow and patient.
Gets 2 white lights, that's enough. Loon Dekkers, the Netherlands, 132.5.
Oh, Anna from Brazil, despite missing her opener, jumping 10 kilo. It's
Certainly,
ordinarily
interesting choice.
That's a huge jump. Not huge. It's a decent size nonetheless.
Particularly if you've missed that opening lift.
Yeah,
It's a lot of pressure.
It makes me anxious, but I hope she knows exactly what she's doing, as well as the Brazilian staff. 132.5 is.
She actually holds the
on the
national
money.
record, I believe.
Yeah, oh, she's definitely. Deckers. Or Anna, were you speaking about?
Dekkers.
Yeah. Very nice opener for Deckers.
Vargas Vilma Ochoa from
Now-
Ecuador, 135.
A little scouting on her. Matt Gary thinks this opener should be well within her means. She actually holds the world record equipped squat.
At 218 kilograms.
Yeah, so she's a phenomenal squatter. And this should be easy work for her. We have literally like women who have won golds in equipped, unequipped.
Yeah, well, she was squatting 145, 150 raw last year.
This should be easy work. And look
Depth
how
was
smooth
good, and that was
is.
very
Wowzers.
easy looking open.
I mean, if you just looked at her face and upper body, you wouldn't even know she was squatting or moving anyway. It's so calm, cool, collected, beautifully done there.
Amanda Fox from New Zealand also looking at 135.
So this is when we start noticing who's struggling on openers and who's hitting them easy. You have a bit of an idea at the bigger the jumps they'll be making to the second and third attempts. Big stomp. She declares war.
135.
And this is a rather big opener.
Well, she had a 135 at the Commonwealth Championships last year, and clearly has improved
Holy
a lot since then.
smokes. For that to be your PB turned into a nice smooth opener.
And she gets 3 white lights.
Training has been going well. Look at that. Nice depth. Right on.
Olga Goloveva from Russia, 135. That's about 10:15 in the evening in Russia. I'm sure there are people up watching this. Dobrovici.
Olga is a wily veteran, been in all types of world championships, broken her fair share of records.
Yeah, has a very, very long and extensive career in international and national events.
Yeah, her resume reads like a grocery list. It's so long. 135 should be smooth. Hits depth.
Yeah, probably a little harder than what she wanted, but she
Yeah.
was a bit slow through there.
I was going to say, look like she's almost tempoing up and down, but
Getting
maybe
the-
she just
getting
wants
the
to be
first
very...
lift nerves out.
Yeah, be very careful with the first. Make sure you get it. Now, Marisa Inda, she is the defending world champion.
Well, let's see how she goes. Marisa Inda looking for 140 to open, trying to defend her world championship.
Extremely popular on social media, a crowd favorite. To great fanfare, took the world championships in Belarus. And looking to defend her crown.
So this is well away from her PB.
Fairly smooth.
It's a nice smooth
What do
lift.
the judges say about depth? Nope. You know, she likes to bring her right on that line. The way she squats, fairly narrow. Yeah, it's right. It's on that line, right? And that's
Just a
kind of the
little
way
bit shy.
she's always squats. Used to this. Won't rattle her.
Joy Namani from Great Britain, 142.5.
The Terminator, the beltless Terminator.
That is a big squat.
Yeah, so last year, she surprised a lot of people, but everybody has her on the radar now. Coming in, actually, the #1 nomination. However, Marisa Inda currently has the world total record.
And Marisa Inda has just put in her second attempt at 142.5, so
Small
going up a
jump.
little just despite missing her opener. Look at the determination and focus.
Wow, just taking her time there. Holy moly, that was a little deeper than she
Knees
needed.
pop in a little bit and chest comes forward.
I think that was a little...
Probably a little bit offline than what she wanted.
Yeah, so when you don't wear a belt, it's harder to, have that compression and stay upright, and you kind of see it here in the slow-mo. She really keeps this standing. Now take a look when she dips in the hole, buckles, and then she's so strong she can fight through it. I'd sometimes wish she'd learn to use the belts.
It's going to be a tough call. Catherine Lacus from Austria, 100 kilograms, so just a 5 kilo jump. This is where these young ladies are going to start pushing themselves a little bit in their second lifts.
And for three of them, they still have to establish themselves. She made
gets
it.
2 white lights, that's enough. And if we look over to the right-hand side referee, if you're watching at home, if you can see the referees at all.
So Anna's actually retaking 110. I thought that she had jumped up. Pretty sure it said she had. Oh, actually, yeah. But she's not. It's going to be 110 kilos again. So it looked like she had jumped up, no? Or am I
No,
seeing-
Inda had jumped up to 142 after missing. So let's see if she can get the 110 on the board this time. Ana Paula Almeida from Brazil. And that right-hand side referee, Jen Thompson, one of the best bencher in the world.
She knows a thing or two about weightlifting. Much better.
She just gets herself a little offline there and has put herself under enormous pressure now. Emma Goodwin from Great Britain is looking at 115.
Perhaps.
Wow, Almeida has put herself under an enormous amount of pressure.
Yeah, you know what? It might have been the weight cut. Because if we look at her nomination.
So Emma Goodwin looking at 115.
Yeah, Almeida has hit this before and hit heavier, so
Yeah,
other variables might be taking place here.
115. She had a good 107.5. And I don't think 115 is going to be too much trouble for a second lift. Well, let's see what the referees say. She did cut that pretty close.
3 whites,
And
yeah.
she's deep enough.
And it moved rather well. She's got some room to grow there.
Now, Andy Carlisle from Australia, 117.5. Missed her open lift, just didn't get down deep enough. So on this one, she really needs to sink it.
Yeah, missing on strength is one thing. Missing on depth, you can definitely adjust.
I think this may be her first World Championships, I'm not sure.
Maybe a little
Done a
nerves.
Pacific Invitational, but this is a big event.
Yeah.
It looked a little better.
Yeah. Looked better for sure. Let's see if the judges agree. Nope.
Oh,
One
still
of them
not
does.
deep enough, and again.
Towing that line.
I think the coach might go and have a chat to the jury on this one, and he is. Sean Muir is going to go and have a chat.
You know, it's the strength is there, so if she's got to retake it, she should be able to drop it low enough. She's not moving as slowly or grinding with it.
Sofia Watermussen from Sweden, 122.5.
Very tight.
Nice quick squat.
Smokes. Long torso, short legs, gets super tight, stays upright, and use those levers to her
She
advantage.
gets the 3 white lights. It's always good to get that quick bounce in the bottom.
Nicely done.
You know, you show your depth, you come straight out of it. Don't
Yep.
give the judges time to sit there and look at
Well,
you.
that's it, yeah. And the
Anna
world,
Komoleva from Russia.
the 2012 World Cup champion, the first international raw event the IPF put on.
Yeah, she has probably one of the best techniques to watch, and she does not fault from it. Очень хорошо. And it looks good.
5
3
kilos.
white lights.
It was definitely work. Not sure how big of a jump she's going to want to take. Probably not more than another 5.
Well, I think a 5 would probably be the limit. You want to
Yep.
save a little bit for the end of this. Joanna Reba from Canada, 132.5. And for those of you at home, if you're not used to or you're new to powerlifting, these girls aren't just coming out and doing 9 lifts. In between each session, they are at the back doing multiple lifts, warming up, getting the neural system into gear.
Yep.
So they are lifting, a good 15 lifts on each session.
It's a very long day. That's why you got to pace yourself and not grind too many out on the platform. Economical with the depth. Let's see what
And
they
a
say.
good second lift.
Definitely moved very well.
Oh, not quite deep enough. They are tough on depth today.
I can understand that, though. This angle's only one view. And that actually was a good angle, and that was the one that she got whited. So that makes sense. But, yeah, you toe that line, right?
Susan Premi from New Zealand, 135.
5-kilo jump. Should be within her means. And we've actually seen quite a few failed attempts, considering we're only halfway through the second attempt.
Yeah, it's
Could be a shakeup, including the defending world champion.
certainly heating up out here. I mean, if you start missing lifts, it opens the door.
Yeah,
You
for
put more
challenges.
pressure on yourself. We've got Almeida and Carlisle under enormous pressure for their third lift.
Yeah. I'm expecting Inda can bounce back.
has to put in some work for that one. And she gets 2 white lights, but there isn't much left for her squat.
Yeah, you got to time yourself well. You grind too much too early, you start gassing out.
Deckers from the Netherlands looking at 137.5. Nice little 5 kilo jump.
Beautiful SBD belt.
And she certainly has a great coach in her corner, Piotr out there, who joined us in the commentary box just the other day.
Oh, nice.
Very smooth.
3 white
And
lights.
she gets the 3 whites. It's on the board. Amanda Folks from New Zealand looking at 140.
Bars loaded. I believe it's the silver firm. She's an accountant. Competed for 3 years, she's an accountant. Ooh, the rack heights, I believe, have to be...
Just spotters have just got the rack heights in the wrong position.
Yeah,
They will fix that up.
gives us a chance to take a look at her nominations, eh, sir?
Yeah, well, she hit a 135 at the Commonwealth Championships last year.
So this is all PR territory now. And
This is a big leap, 140 from 135.
5 kilo. I mean, you're PRing in your second. Hopefully it's not a grinder because you still have one left. Taking her time, taking that weight out. No need to rush.
Oh, that was a tough lift.
Yep. 2.5.
There's not a whole lot left in there.
No,
She
you're gonna
gets
want a
one
2.5.
red light, but 2 whites is enough.
Yep.
Olga from Russia, 140 kilos.
Now, Olga, born in 1970, refusing to be pushed into the Masters, continues to compete in the Open because she can.
Yeah,
and
she was a world
always in
champion
medal
in
contention.
2015. So
Yeah, and she is always in medal contention.
we'd have a look at her grocery list of wins
it'll,
here.
It'll take a while to sift through that. Just know that she's won her fair share of titles, and
She certainly has. She's an absolute champion lifter.
very slow, hits depth, very slow up. You know what? So if you were worried how slow she
Didn't
took
really
her opener,
look any different than her opening lift.
if you're worried about how slow she took her opener, this is how she squats.
3 white lights. It didn't look any different than her opener. It wasn't any faster. It wasn't any slower.
And that's where it's hard to judge by openers. You can't compare. Someone once said you can't compare the lifters between bar speed. You have to compare between attempts for the same lifter.
And she certainly made short work of that. Marissa Inda from the US of A. Now, she missed her opening lift at 140, and she's opted to go up to 142.5.
Now, she's the defending world champion. Missed it on depth. Certainly not on strength.
That is a tough lift.
That was a tough one. That's kind of
She's
interesting.
right on the edge. Let's see what the referees say. And she gets it on the board.
It's interesting that a 2.5 kilo jump over her opener that's really deep on the one side. Wow. The difference, when I saw it from our dead-on angle, looked borderline. I see it in slow-mo replay from the side. It looks deep.
One side is
I don't blame the
really
head judge for having, it's a game of angles, isn't it?
deep. Vargas Vilma Ochoa from Ecuador, 142.5.
World record holder in the equipped. Very strong squat. The equipment is off, and now we test her raw power.
Yeah, it's a tough ass to train for raw squat and equipped squat.
Wow, so good, so efficient with her levers.
And she gets 3 white lights.
Beautiful squatting there.
Very nice to watch. Joy Namani from Great Britain, 150.
When you see the pressure come on, her elbows start coming back underneath the bar to keep her body upright. Never gets bullied by the weight. Beautiful squatting. Now, Joey actually buckled a little in her opener. If you remember.
142.5 wasn't an easy lift for her. Now she's looking at 150.
And, you wonder if eventually she's going to pop on a belt, at least if only for squats. The internal pressure really helps you stay upright. It's not just to protect your back, but it also helps the compression.
Yeah, so the big misconception is that belts are there to protect your back, and they do to a particular point, but the protection of the back actually comes from the increased abdominal pressure.
Yeah.
And enables the system to stay tight all the way through.
And tension and being tight keeps you upright. We've seen it time and again, but this is how she trains, this is how she competes, and she competes at a very high level.
Don't know if she's going to get through it. She's pushing it. We might have a relift here.
She's upset about that.
I think our spotter might have just touched the bar.
They're having a conversation.
I think she's going to get a relift, I would imagine.
Yeah, the only problem with the relift, she expended a lot of energy. Yeah. Woof. I mean, you almost, to redo that is almost daunting for the lifter to hear.
That's a tough call, isn't it?
It's not. It's a gift. You get to redo it, but it's also daunting when you just unload it.
They will offer the relift, whether she decides to take it or not.
You see in her face there. She's where's her expression on her face? Her elbows, we had said, comes
pulled
forward.
Her elbows under, and all of a sudden she started going up.
It's a tough one. And
following herself, which means we'll put 4 minutes on the clock.
Are they relifting?
So she has 4 minutes to complete a relift.
Oh, I thought she'd come back at the end, but I guess...
she is the last lifter in the round.
Well, it gives us a chance to talk about...
because she's the last lifter in the round, she gets 4 minutes on the clock, and she follows herself.
What sports, without a little bit of controversy and a possible comeback story, it also doesn't hurt Anna Almeida from Brazil.
They get a little bit of extra rest there.
4 more minutes. She has a chance to regroup.
And these two girls, Almeida and Carlisle, are under just ridiculous amounts of pressure, being on 2 missed lifts so far. The pressure to get a third lift on is ridiculous. Their nerves are bad enough as it is, being the World Championship. Andy Carlisle, this is her first World Championship, so nerves are ridiculous. And now she's under pressure to get a third lift.
Yeah, you got to feel for her. I mean, this is where sometimes the experience, for instance, the Brazilians been to the Worlds before, really helps out. But 4 minutes, the coaches are pulling them aside, giving them a pep talk. You've done it before.
You can throw a bar on your back with an empty bar and just practice hitting that depth and getting down there.
Exactly.
Certainly a good opportunity for them. So, Nemani might have just done them a little bit of a favour there. Our spotter grabbing that bar a little bit too early might have just done them a little bit of a favour. And no fault on the spotters.
It's a tough job. It's a thankless job in a lot of ways.
Lifter safety is our first priority. But it's going to be a tough ask to come out after 4 minutes, and that was a grinder.
So here's the thing with that. Now, Joy is about as scrappy young lady as you're going to find. She's used to grinding out reps, but we said she has no belt, and it exhausts you when you have to do all the pressure yourself.
That was not just a tough lift. I mean, no offense to Joy, but that was an ugly-looking squat.
It wasn't a thing. It wasn't a beauty.
It wasn't a thing of beauty.
It was definitely. But right when she hit the sticking point, she did some proper adjustments. The elbows actually came under the bar, and she started righting the ship. Now, I can't fault the spotter where I was about to call it and say, that was
both about to call it and say she's not going to get it, and then all of a sudden it starts moving.
Luckily for us, we're calling it in the booth and not on the platform. It should be said, though, the spotters, the whole World Championships have done an excellent job.
That's been fantastic.
Catching some big. Nobody remembers the 1,000 times you did it correctly. They just remember the once that you did it. So.
Now, there is 3 minutes left on that clock, so Joy can come out at any time in that 4 minutes. She doesn't have to wait. Should
we also bring up, now that we have a moment, defending world champion Marisa Inda? She came out 140, slightly high. Okay, that was depth. But 142, which isn't a whole lot more, actually looked like a bit of a grinder for her.
Yeah, look, and she's put on another 5 kilos for a third lift, so she's looking at 147.5.
Well, she's going to have
to. And that is going to be tough.
So here's the thing. Everyone coming into this thought, it's going to be a battle between defending world champion Marisa Inda and Joy from Britain. Now, both of these ladies struggling in the squat event, and if ever in sports, you never want to give your contenders hope. This thing is just blown wide open.
Yeah, look, and there's quite a few other lifters just sort of waiting in the wings there for a couple of mistakes to happen. anything can happen now. I mean, they're under a lot of pressure. Almeida is under enormous pressure to get this squat on the board. Carlisle, I mean, these two girls have got the biggest amount of pressure, and to get on, if they don't get this third squat on, there's no total for them.
Something you're going to want to watch for the Ecuadorian who has a world record in the squat. The door swung open for her. And Olga from Russia, the wily veteran, staying in the pocket, slow, steady, wins the race. Her squats were slow and steady. Hasn't missed yet.
I mean, if you look at Olga from Russia, I mean, her projected total sits her in about third. You know, she's just going to chip away, make these girls, you know, she's got the experience to sit back, time her lifts when she wants them.
Yeah.
You might get a bit of a shock when it comes down to the deadlift and Olga comes out from behind, and she has got a very good deadlift on her.
Yeah.
So, and her technique is built over many, many years of experience.
Now, usually when you have a situation like this, you might think, is this an impact from a big weight cut? Now, Inda actually walks around very close to her weight class. Not really an impact for her, but for some of these other ladies, 52 kilo, that can be a big ask.
Yeah, and you know, we know from experience with these weight classes, they often, you know, carry around 4 or 5 kilos more than their general weight class. So coming into these competitions, they've got to cut down a few kilos to get into the 52s.
Yep.
And that can really take its toll.
100%. Now, if the ladies can get, well,
And
looks like
here
Rav should
she
come back. We'll be
comes.
back in a minute.
We are on our way. Let's see if Joy Namani can come back from this. That was an enormous amount of work in that 150. Now she has to do it again, and she has a third lift to go.
Yeah, this is a very tough ask.
Come on, Joey.
Got to stay upright.
Gets the big breath, tightens the abs. Whoa! That's better, that's better.
Okay, so that looks
That
pretty
actually
good.
looked a lot better
Yeah,
than the
it
other
did.
attempt.
And that
And she
is what a
gets it on the
champion
board.
does. The heart of a lion, wowzers. You see her nodding. Take a look at this squat one more time because it deserves it. You see the elbows come on almost like she's kicking into second gear. Look at this. Hits depth. Woof. The elbows come forward. Keeps her chest upright. Nods. I got this. Easier.
Yeah, look, that definitely looked easier than the second attempt to the 150. The downside for her now is, you know, we've got an end game to play, and she's got to do a fourth squat now.
She relies heavily on her deadlift. Let's hope that didn't tax her by the time we get there.
Right, so we're back to the start of the round for the third attempts with Catherine Okis from Austria looking at 102.5.
Short 2.5 kilo jump. Might be appropriate though.
There's
Oh,
a
very
hard
appropriate.
lift.
Perfect. In terms of the weight on the bar, not a kilo more.
Well done, gets it on the board. Ana Almeida from Brazil, 110, under ridiculous amounts of pressure to stay in this competition.
Yeah, you
You don't want to see anyone go out this way,
Absolutely
but boy, has she put herself under pressure.
Bars loaded, not a call.
Hopefully that short break, if it's a thing of rehydration, 4 minutes
That
more.
extra 4 minutes
it helps.
is certainly going to have helped these ladies.
Yep. Strong walkout. Digging her heels in and
Looks a
showing her
lot
teeth.
more determined and a lot
she
more
does.
confident.
Yeah, she does.
And she's just really going to have to explode.
Whoa! Does she have it? She's fighting. What a tiger!
She's gonna get it up to the
Whoa!
top.
Huge comeback!
Wow.
Yikes!
I was just about to say I don't
Hats
think she's
off!
going to do it, and
Yeah.
she does it.
Wowzers!
Absolute credit to that lady.
Massive
That
heart
was a
on
tough
Almeida.
lift.
Whoa!
And watching that lift,
Take
there was-
another shot at this.
watching
you could,
that lift, she had no right standing that up, and she absolutely drove it through. She gets the
Yikes.
chest up, and the hips come through.
That took so long. You could have made yourself a sandwich, came back, and she was
Wow.
still struggling.
And now we have the Australian Andy Carlisle, who is also under ridiculous amounts of pressure here. She is clearly strong enough.
Hopefully she takes a little inspiration from Anna. It is possible.
The weight isn't a problem for her. She just has to sink it in.
Grind your teeth, stay in the pocket, and keep pushing.
You know, it's moments like these where you think maybe, you know, just push it that little bit further and do the grind to get it on the board. That looks
good
better.
depth.
That looks better.
Okay.
That looks like a good lift. Let's wait and see what the referee
You know what?
And she is on the board.
You know what? That 4-minute break wasn't half bad.
4-minute break has helped them both.
Changed the game.
Thank you, Joy.
Joy
has opted not to do her third lift, which I think is a smart decision.
She really had 3 lifts.
Yeah.
She opted not to take a 4th lift.
Yeah,
not a bad
I think
decision.
that's actually a smart call. I mean, she's got another 6 lifts to go yet.
Yeah.
So we're looking at Emma Goodwin from Great Britain for 120. Wow, those girls really saved the bacon on that one.
You know what? I've never seen such an exciting opening weight. It makes our job easy when the excitement and drama is that thick. 120. Oh, no.
Tough lift and
left
just
hand.
can't quite get there.
If you see in the replay, her left hand opens up and then it totally teeters to that side, almost like look how loose she gets on this one side. Left hand opens and then
once you open that hand up, you take away the tension, the fast twitch fibers stop firing.
Yeah.
It gets all sorts of trouble. Sophia Watermussen from Sweden, 127.5. She's had a good run so far with the first 2 lifts being good. She is a migration agency worker from Sweden.
Well, Sweden's a nice place to live. I'm sure she's rather busy. My sister actually moved out there and lives there now. Whoa, nope.
Yeah, a little bit too much, and you're going to find this a little bit strange.
Gotta stay with that lift. You know, so she wasn't going to stay with the bar. The spotter, stay with it. And she goes, oh, sorry.
Yeah, we've only seen it a couple of times this
yeah, you can't walk away. You stay with that bar.
I think she was wanting to. I think the spotter's so tall out there, he was lifting up for a chin-up bar. The next Russian, Anna Komleva from Russia, 135.
Former World Cup champion, showing her pedigree today, looking to go 3 for 3 and add 5 kilos. Yes, sir. Nicely done.
Hands it up.
I think the Russian coaches picked the right weight for that 3rd attempt.
3 white lights. I don't think there's much more in the tank, so it was a good decision.
Yep. Well played. Now, Joanna Reiber looking at, she jumped 2.5 kilos, actually.
She missed a 132.5, and now she's looking for 135.
What are you thinking, sir? I believe it was am I wrong to say it was depth?
I think it was depth, but you put yourself under a little bit more pressure when you've added the weight up. In the back of your mind, it's always plain that you didn't get that one before, and if you're not getting depth, often, you know, it's sometimes because of training, but it's also often because the nerves are there and you're pulling up a little bit shy because you really want to push the weight. Adding on that couple extra kilos sometimes can help by pushing you down a bit faster, but sometimes you pull up shy again.
Depth this time.
And she's got it in this one.
Yep.
And the referees say no, not deep enough.
Oh, what do I know? Well, she did buy insurance with her opener regardless.
Yeah,
so
she's
she
already
stays
on the
in
board,
game.
so it's not the end of the game.
She's also a big bencher, so she can cover some ground there.
Suzanne Premji from New Zealand, 140 kilograms.
Hit her first 2. New Zealand got a rather strong open team. I like the socks too.
Takes that big breath in.
Oh no.
And just a little bit much.
Yeah.
You know, she has an interesting technique too. I mean, she's one of the head down squatters, chest forward squatters. You know, and not to criticise that technique. I mean, there's lots of lifters using, and it's debatable between different coaches.
Yeah.
But when that weight starts to push you forward, it just makes it that little bit harder to stand up through it.
I gotta agree. I mean, the back angle is similar to a conventional dead. Some people prefer that, but usually chest up for most levers.
Dekkers from the Netherlands looking at 140.
Nice step. Whoa, oh, that was
And
close.
Just a little too much there.
Good catch by the spotters. Let her fight it out.
Yeah, a lot of them struggling here on their third lift, just pushing it a little bit hard. Amanda Folks from New Zealand, 142.5.
New Zealand got a nice little 1-2 punch. Now, this is well over a previous squat PR. As a matter of fact, her opener was her squat PR. A little bit of uncharted waters for Amanda. But apparently her training cycle's gone well.
Yeah, not a huge amount of experience at this level. She had a Commonwealth Championships and an Asia Oceania Pacific Championship
Gotcha.
appearance, which she's won both.
Well, that's encouraging.
But the world stage is a whole other ball game.
Yeah.
It is daunting out there. There are cameras everywhere.
Yeah,
There are bald commentators everywhere.
It's some devils. Oh, she's got a lot of fight in her.
She's grounded out to get to the top. Let's
You
see
know
what the
what?
referees say. 3 white
Nicely
lights.
done. And again, I'll give kudos to the coaching staff. You know, she didn't want to go any heavier, any lighter. That was perfectly placed. Third attempt.
Olga from Russia looking at 145. She is just playing a very smart game, keeping herself in touch with the top two.
The wily veteran, this is matching her squat PR. Born in 1970, aging like fine wine, refusing to be bucked into the Masters.
And she's going to take her time with this setup, and we know she has a slow squat.
I think
But I think 145 is going to make her work.
I think that squat PR is actually old. Her nomination says 147.5, so that profile's old. Let's see if she can hit this, though. Oh, wow. She is all types of strong, isn't she?
That was absolutely phenomenal. She never once faltered from her technique.
You know what?
And
She's
she
actually
drove it all the way through for 3 white lights.
descending so slowly, and then the Russian coach at the side lets her know when she hits depth and is like, up, and then she slowly comes up. It's got to gas you, but this is the way she trains.
It works for her. Marissa Inder from the US of A, 147.5. Now, this is an important couple of kilos for her.
Yeah, because Joy...
With Joy opting out of that third lift, it gives her a little bit of opportunity here to close the gap a little bit.
You don't want to fall behind a deadlifter. That's going to be... Oh.
Yeah, she struggled. She pulled up a little bit shy there and didn't get that usual bounce she gets.
Marissa's got a much bigger bench press than Joy, so she's still got ground to cover in the bench. And then she's obviously got a really fair deadlift as well.
Lagos Vilma Ochoa from Ecuador, 147.5.
20 years competing. Wowzers, that's 2 decades of experience. You think she's rattled? Not at all.
She has plenty of experience under her belt.
Seen it
Talking
all.
about experience, her rap sheet reads with world championships, with classic championships,
World
with national
records.
championships, absolutely scattered all over it.
Wow.
And she handled that like a true professional.
Yeah. She has such an efficient squat. Oh, depth.
Not quite deep enough.
Depth.
I think
Yeah,
the,
you can take a look again.
I think the coach is going to have a chat to the jury about that one.
If you get one white, you're allowed to protest. It was close on the line.
The coach is going to protest. Just having a look at the coach and see what result he gets there. But wow, what an exciting session! You know, we
High
had 2
drama.
girls under enormous pressure to get those third lifts in, and they did it.
Yeah, I mean, particularly when Almeida came back from Brazil, that was the fight. I mean, very rarely do you see someone fight that long under that much load and not gas
Yeah,
out.
and I think both those girls should walk up onto that platform, thank that spotter, because that extra 4 minutes
Yeah,
gave them a
for
little bit
sure.
extra time to cool
For
down a little bit, get there and
Game
get back
changer.
in.
And that's sports. It should also be said, I mean, Joy really she had 3 squats. How much does she have left in the tank? Marissa, in the defending world champion, is starting to get, you don't want to trail a deadlifter like Joy, Olga, ever the consummate professional.
That was tough for her to miss her last lift there, because that was an important one. With Joy not taking her third lift, gave her an opportunity to get an extra couple of kilos, but just couldn't quite get it on the board. But we've got the bench press coming up next, some opportunities from girls to catch up a couple more kilos, and then we'll be fighting on the deadlift. We'll be right back in about 20 minutes.
You do not want to miss this. Believe me, the battle is too close.
It's going to be an exciting afternoon of lifting, but we will see you in 20 minutes' time. Welcome back to the bench press session here in the under 52 women at the 2018 IPF Classic Powerlifting World Championships here in sunny Calgary, Canada. And I say sunny, but the last 2 days have been pretty cold here.
You know, Canada, we cannot promise. If you got a sunny day, you're lucky.
Beautiful one day, freezing cold the next. But it's been absolutely fantastic, and we've just seen probably one of the most exciting squat sessions or tense squat sessions for a while.
Talking about hot, cold, holy smokes, sir, that squat session, you don't know what to expect.
Up and down, all over the place.
Whoa.
And it really sets the scene. In about 15 seconds, we're going to be starting the bench press. And this is a chance for some of these ladies to maybe add a couple extra kilos, make up for a few they might have lost, and just try and keep the positions where they are. I don't think we'll see a huge amount of changes around positioning here, but this is an opportunity, and it's really important for some of these top three to get the numbers on the board to stay in that top three.
Yeah, especially with Marissa Inda being 10 kilo above Joy in terms of the bench openers. She really wants to cover as much ground as possible and maybe even surpass Joy in the subtotals, because Joy's monster deadlift is really going to cover a lot of ground.
And we have Catherine Lekies from Austria wanting 52.5 to open her campaign. Gets that chest up as high as she can. And absolutely smokes her opener.
Wow. That's how it's done. 3 white lights.
Ana Paula Almeida from Brazil looking for 62.5 as well. Gave herself a bit of a tough run earlier.
Now, this is below her personal best. 5 kilo below, which for bench is well below her limit. Like a good 5 kilo jump. So this should be okay. She's obviously got the heart of a lion.
Yeah, that last squat was something else, wasn't it?
Holy moly, that was.
So 62.5.
It would appear to be a nice 5 kilo beneath her limit. Yeah, okay,
And
back
she
on track.
handled that nicely.
You know,
She'll be very happy with that.
Sometimes a big fight, it drains you, but at the same time boosts your confidence. And you feel like, okay, if I get my back to the wall, I can scrap it out.
Emma Goodwin from Great Britain, 62.5.
Just looking at her nominations right now, and Goodwin has hit 67.5 as well.
Yeah, so she did 67.5 this year at the
Yeah.
British Championships.
So once again, this should move pretty nicely, and it does.
And it does. That was a very good choice for an opening lift.
Yeah, I just wonder if we're going to have a bench session like we had a squat session. I'm going to have to lay down in between these weight
It
classes.
was a very, very intense.
Yeah.
Amanda Fox from New Zealand looking at 65 kilograms. So she's been consistent above 65 for a while. 67.5 at the Commonwealth Championships last year.
Yep, and I think she's rounding out, like her squats was over her previous best by quite a bit, so not surprised she's somewhat close to her previous best for the bench. For squats or any indication, she's probably going to blow right past her previous best.
Going to get right up on those shoulders
moly,
as much as she can.
Yeah, she's going to hold those shoulders in place.
Pin those shoulder blades together, dig into the bench.
Nicely done. Beautiful setup.
Man, she's getting a re-rack.
I didn't see. That's a long setup to have to redo.
Wow, she has only got 18 seconds left. She's going to have to rush through this.
I really hope that they told her what she has to
This
fix.
is going to make it hard.
Was it? What was it? Feet?
May have been feet. She gets the call, though. Wow, that's
Nice.
made it hard for her.
You know what? I think it's just because she had to rush her setup the second time. I don't think it was the weight.
Certainly made it hard for her.
Yeah. And that's why you pick an appropriate opener.
Susan Premji from New Zealand, 75 kilograms.
75 kilos.
This is an equal personal best.
Susan. With the silver burn from New Zealand, Kia Kaha.
75 kilos for New Zealand.
We can only hope that she's hit this several times in the gym since then. Especially after the squat session. It's a warning shot. Don't get too dicey. There you
No problems at all. So our next lifter on 75 kilos as well, Anna Komleva from Russia, 75 kilograms.
Yeah, she's let me take a look here. We have a couple of Russians here, obviously both very high level. She's hit 80 kilo previously. It's 5 kilo below her personal best, or her bench on her nomination. Anyway.
Yeah, she benches raw and equipped.
She knows her way around a barbell. Yeah, that's nice.
No problems whatsoever. Puts that one on the board at 75 kilograms.
The veterans, you're a little less worried about, although disaster does strike.
Deckers from the Netherlands, 75 kilograms.
Guys loaded, Little Netherlands, 75 kilos.
So this will be interesting. She did 72.5 at the Western European Championships last year.
I have 77.5
So
for
clearly
her
that is big improvements in her bench in the last 12 months, because that 75 looked like a warm-up.
She's going to want to watch her butt. It looked like it came up.
Vargas Vilma Ochoa from Ecuador, 77.5.
Excellent squat session for Vargas Vilma. The Ecuadorian holding several world records. Bench press.
And another lifter that competes equipped and raw. We're seeing a bit more of that lately.
Yeah, bench press isn't her strongest event, but she has to hold serve. Add some kilos. She's got a big pull on her.
And she makes short work of 77.5.
Yeah, she's got the third biggest opener for deads. Bench is really more an event. She's going to hang tough, try to go 3 for 3, and get whatever kilo she can.
Joy Namani from Great Britain, 80 kilos. Now, she opted out of her last squat, which I think was probably a smart decision.
Definitely.
She burned a lot of energy on those 2 attempts.
Yeah, and she already had done 3 squats. Would you like a 4th? No, thank you.
Yeah, I think I'll take a pass on that.
Yeah, I'm the only one doing 4 if that's the case. She's just going over how she wants to lift off. She's in good spirits. Look at, she had a couple grinders and she put it behind her. That's what you have to do.
Yep, squats are finished, over and done with. Move on to the bench. No matter what happened, doesn't matter. You can't change it now, so yeah, a good athlete learns to shake off whatever happened in the previous event. Ooh. Using that J move very nicely. That was a great example of that J curve on the bench. Really made use of the momentum. And Andy Carlisle from Australia, another athlete that had an absolutely tough run on squats, but got it on the board.
Yeah.
Now looking at 82.5.
Showed tons of heart there.
The good thing, the good point for her was they weren't big grinders, but the amount of energy that she would have used from the anxiety and the nerves.
Yeah. Oh, no doubt. When that 4 minutes was put on the clock, he knew it was on her mind the whole time, every second of it.
So 82.5 for an opening bench.
And this is a rather big bench.
And she makes short work of that. Marissa Inda from the US of A. We're getting to some big numbers now, 90 kilograms.
Yeah, we got 3 lifters opening with 90 kilos. Some big benches in this flight. Marissa very strong in the bench.
90 kilograms. She has done a 97.5 this year and handles that very well.
Yeah, no question on that opener. Back on track.
Joanna Reba from Canada wants 90.
The bar is loaded. Joanna Reber.
Joanna,
Holmes,
national record holder in Canada.
95.5, so 90 should be quite reasonable.
in her weight class. Here comes the anesthesiologist from Ontario, Joanna Little Joe Reber.
She should handle this pretty well.
Yeah, certainly no problems. Probably a little slower than you'd like a bench to be. Sophia Waldermussen from Sweden, 95 kilograms.
Here comes another. Here comes the next. Bars loaded. The next.
Now she's hit 100 kilo before. Good 5 kilo beneath that.
A round of applause for 95 kilos in the 52 kilo weight class.
Yeah, 95 kilo opener, and these are 52 kilo women.
It's a big lift.
Yeah,
We're
percentage-wise, that's...
getting super close to double body weight.
Yep. Look at that arch. Well done.
Gets that chest up as high as she can.
Just maximized her levers nicely.
And 3 white lights. And Olga from Russia, 95 kilograms.
Now, Olga has 100 kilos on her nomination. She has pressed 125. Wowzers. That has to be in equipment because the world record is below that.
Yeah, she does. She lifts equipped and raw.
Yeah, so
But she has done 100 kilos raw. In fact, she's done 102.5 for a world M1 record.
just so everyone, the open world record is 110.5 kilo. The M1 world record is 102.5. Just for point of reference, these are some rather big openers.
And that M1 record is owned by Olga. And she's not quite ready to leave the opens yet. She's still got a lot left to do.
Wow.
And handles that absolutely beautifully.
Yeah, definitely a favorite for the gold medal in this event. See how it shakes up.
And we'll come around for our second attempt, and that is fantastic. All the girls have got their first attempts on the board.
Yeah, that's definitely what you want to see.
Catherine Lekes from Austria, 57.5.
Bar is loaded for Catherine Lecker. Really fine, strong.
57.5 kilograms for Catherine from Austria.
$5-kilo jump. See if
That's a hefty jump in bench press, but
Yep.
you know what? We just saw the lower weight class. And lots of the girls taking 5 kilo jumps in
Yeah.
a second and made me eat my words.
Nicely
That's a
done.
good-looking
You know,
lift.
If nothing else, it's a sign of an appropriate opener where you weren't leaving any room for a doubt. You put a weight on there that even if you're having a terrible day, you're going to be able to hit it for your openers, and that's why they all got their openers.
Yeah, like we keep saying, it is not where you start, it's where you finish.
Yep.
Ana Paula Almeida, Brazil, 65 kilograms.
Loaded 65 kilos Brazil.
2.5 kilo jump. trying to stay within her means, pick up a few kilos.
Oh, it was a little bit of a tough lift there off the chest for the second. Probably not a lot of room left now.
No, 2.5 kilos.
Emma Goodwin from Great Britain, 67.5.
Bars loaded, Emma Goodwin, 67.5 kilos.
Now, just looking at her nominations here, she's hit 67.5 on her nominations. I think she's previously done better.
Yeah, she hit a 75 on that was equipped. She's hit a 67.5 actually this year at the British Championships.
Okay, well, maybe
So
she's matched.
This could be a tough lift.
Wow.
A little bit of work, but not too bad for a second lift.
Bar speed slowed a little, but I think she's got more in the tank, maybe 2.5 kilo.
Amanda Folks from New Zealand also wants 67.5.
67.5 kilos.
This was her best lift at the Commonwealth Championships last year, so I don't think this will cause too much trouble for her. Just a short 2.5 kilo jump.
Yeah, it'll equal her nominated bench. But we can only assume she's progressed past this. Oh, no,
Yeah,
maybe
it's a
not.
little bit tough off the chest there. Just couldn't get the power up.
Couple things to keep in mind. When her other international meets may have been far closer to New Zealand.
Yeah, and that is a big problem when you're traveling this far, isn't it? New Zealand's quite a long way to go.
Those Commonwealths were in South Africa, and then the Asian Oceania was in Australia. So
Suzanne Premji from New Zealand, 77.5.
77.5 kilos.
going over to the liftoff, always a good idea. Even if you've already come out, remind them because they've gone through 14 lifters last time they seen you.
Yeah, it's all well and good just assuming they remember, but these guys are flat out there.
And this is just one session. They do this all day, every day.
Super tight. Having to work for it, but she gets it back to the top.
Slow and steady, no particular sticking point, but definitely bar speed was considerably slower than her opener.
Yeah, I mean, there's a little bit of work there, but I don't think she's at the end of the tank just yet.
Nope.
Deckers from the Netherlands wants 77.5.
Bars loaded, Netherlands.
Oh, nicely
It's
done.
a little bit wobbly offline, but muscles it back into place, and she gets the two white lights. Anna Komleva from Russia wants 80 kilograms.
Coming from a long line of Russian champions, she's among them.
Bars loaded, Anna Komleva.
5 kilo jump.
And they have really demonstrated their technique proficiency this week and a half.
This would equal...
The Russian lifter's doing very well.
Yep, this would equal her nominated bench.
You might have seen the bar dip down a little bit there. Let's see what the referees say.
Yeah.
But she gets the two white lights, and that's enough. And the head referee just picking up on that.
Yeah, we have Jen Thompson judging the bench press.
If anyone knows bench press, it's Jen Thompson.
That's right. You're not going to argue too many of those calls. Fair play.
Vargas Vilma Ochoa wants 82.5.
Nice 5 kilo jump for the Ecuadorian. Oh, no. You know what?
Pretty
it
tough
paused.
through the middle. Let's
don't
see
know if it came down.
it paused or did it dip. And she gets 2 white lights, that's enough, and just the head referee picking that up.
I'd have to say 2.5 kilo jump even is going to be fairly tough.
I think that's going to be a little bit tough for her.
It'll be an ask.
Joy Namani from Great Britain.
Keeping a tight 2.5 kilo jump here. I mean, obviously, I think the name of the game, like I had said, stay in the pocket, couple kilos here. Don't grind out and tighten up that back because you need it for deads. It's just not worth it.
Yeah, just throw in a few little kilos here and there. You'll be considering the entire competition, not just the bench press or not just the squats.
Nicely done. Beautiful.
And she handles that well at 82.5.
Like, if you think about 2.5 kilos can drain her dead, her deadlift can absolutely put the nail in a coffin on people if it's on point.
And all she has to do is do her job in the bench press.
That's right.
Andy Carlisle from Australia.
She's being coached by Coach Muir.
87.5 kilos. She handled her opening lift very well. And she has bounced back from those squats very well. I mean, that's got to take its toll on your confidence. Missing the first 2, coming down to the third.
But battling back. But boy, that comeback. Whoa, nicely done.
And
well,
she handles 87.5
confidence seems to be building.
She's back on the track now.
And that's where we'd spoken about. Negativity has momentum, so does positivity. Get her back on track if you're the coach.
She's back on the right track now. Marissa Inda from USA, 95 kilograms.
Now, taking a look at the projected totals, we said she's going to cover ground and bench. This would nudge her ahead of all of her rivals. Well, of the Russian, sorry. She'll still be trailing Joy a little.
And we have 2 lifters at the moment looking for 100 kilo bench presses, which will be up shortly.
Yeah. Quick reminder, the world record in the open is 110.5 and M1 102.5. Wow, that's pretty nice. Now, Olga is an M1, so the M1 world record is at stake.
Is she going to take a crack at the record?
I got to think the M1 world record at least is in danger.
She has to go 102.5 will equal the record.
Yeah, so she could. Actually, she can't chip it if she's in the open, so she's going to have to straight up go over to 105. We'll see how 100 moves for her.
Joanna Reba from Canada looking at 95 kilograms.
Whoa, it's a scrap.
Wow, she managed to push that back somehow.
Yeah, she's got heart.
And she
no
gets
question.
2 white lights, that's enough.
Not sure how much room she's got to grow from there, but what a struggle right there. Stays in the pocket very tight.
Sophia Waldemarson from Sweden is looking for a massive 100 kilograms.
And we're only in our second attempts. Keep that in mind. This is obviously over double body weight, and we're in our second attempts. Actually, nope, just shy of double. 104 would be up my math, eh?
Just shy. That's right, we keep you here for your
That's
powerlifting knowledge, not your maths. And she nails that. That was a fast lift.
Look at
Olga
that arch.
from Russia.
Look at the angle of that arch. Beautifully set up.
Looking for 100 kilograms.
From Russia, Barcelona for Olga Golubeva.
She's within striking distance of the M1 World Championships, or world record.
Yeah, well, just wants to put a nice, easy 100 on here. And then she can decide where she's going to go, whether she's going to have a bit of a crack at the world record or does she just equal with 102.5.
The top three are really establishing themselves on the podium. What color the medal is, not sure, but they're pulling away from the pack. Nicely
We
done.
might have seen a little bit of a head lift there.
Oh, really? Okay, let's see what the
Let's
judges
wait and
say.
see. Nope, we've got
Looks like-
3 white lights.
Looks like she got a bit of a leg cramp there. Kicked one leg up,
Yeah.
and that's what I was saying. Let's see there. Can't really see the head too well. Now, we were saying before, the bench, a lot of people overlook it. See that leg swing out immediately, and she stretched it. A lot of lifters, you really tense up the lower back, really tense up the hamstrings, and the bench can greatly impact your deadlift. So you really got to think about how hard you want to fight for 2.5 kilos and put the strain on your lower back and hamstrings when you still got the deadlift event and can cover far more than 2.5 kilos in one attempt.
Catherine Leckes from Austria, 60 kilograms. Yeah, a lot of people when they're new to powerlifting are quite surprised when you try to explain the idea that a bench is a full body lift,
Yeah.
not just a press with the chest. In fact, if you're doing your powerlifting correctly, you should end up with probably more DOMs in your legs than your chest. And if you're not getting DOMs in your legs, you're doing it wrong.
Nicely
That's
done.
a great little fight. Nothing too over the top, so she's still got energy in the tank for her deadlift. She's pretty excited about that one.
Yeah, 3 for 3 at the Worlds. And she's fresh.
Ana Paula Almeida from Brazil.
Looking to bounce back and go 3 for 3 in the bench after a pretty exciting
Wow.
squat. A lot of heart on display by this one. Cannot question that.
67.5 kilograms. And it's just a bit too much for her. Amanda Fox from New Zealand wants 67.5 as well.
Amanda Fox.
Here we go, 67.5 from New Zealand. She missed a second, didn't she?
Yeah, but she has hit it previously in competition, so let's see which way the final attempt will
Now, if
swing.
I remember rightly, she had a re-rack and then had to set up quite quickly.
Oh, okay.
So I think if she gets the footing right, she'll be able to go straight into this. Yeah, look, that's better. She's having to fight. She's used a lot of energy on that second, but she gets it to the top.
There you go. I think she redeems herself.
Yeah, 3 white lights. She exhausted a little bit of energy on that second attempt, but she's managed to redeem. Emma Goodwin, Great Britain, 70 kilograms.
70 kilos. The bar is loaded, says.
This would be a personal best for Emma.
This one, how about this one?
Well, according to her nomination, anyways.
And she's got plenty of experience. Another lifter that lifts raw and equipped.
Mm. Oop, a little much to
A
ask
little
today.
too much. And that's tough to train for equipped and raw. They're two very, very different training techniques, two very different lifts.
Yeah, if anything, training equipped will give you a little bit of overload for the nervous system, but then again, the pathway and everything for the bench and how you load up the shirt,
It can be
it's a whole other
completely
skill.
Different
isn't it?
pathway, different neural system.
Yep.
Susan Premji from New Zealand, 80 kilograms.
Bar is loaded for Susan.
And this is her nominated bench is 75 kilo, which she opened with. Just blowing that out of the water if she can hit this 80 kilo. Setting up a very high arch.
And she'll lift the bar out, and as she comes out, digs those feet in.
Nope.
Just a bit much to get off the chest.
Let's see, Plume Deckers from the Netherlands.
Luan Deckers from the Netherlands, 80 kilograms.
Bars loaded.
These are massive, massive bench presses.
Yeah, 2.5 kilo jump from her second attempt. This would also be a personal best. Now, I thought I saw her butt rise, but we'll see what the judges say. Yeah.
And it did.
Gotta agree
Pick
with
that one up.
You'll see this on the replay, yeah, way high as well. That was clear as day.
Pick that one up very well. Anna Komleva from Russia, 82.5 kilograms.
Former champion taking a 2.5 kilo jump.
Yeah, playing the smart game. She had a 5 kilo jump between her opener and her second, and now just 2.5 kilos.
This will be slightly over her nominated bench. Nope.
Just
Today,
a little too much.
You know
A lot
what?
of the girls struggling with that third lift.
We've had 5 misses and only 2 hits. It's a bit of a rough third round of benching.
Well, let's hope Vargas, Vilma, Ochoa can change that and put 85 kilos on the board.
On her nominations, she has an 87.5 bench. This is within that. If anybody is going to get us back into the green, it's her. Nope.
Just a little too much.
Oh, now this is going to be a bit of a shakeup if some of the top contenders don't hit their thirds. And speaking of,
This could allow a couple of people to shoot into the medals for the bench press.
It is. I mean,
Julie, Andy Carlisle from Australia is currently in 5th for the lift to come. Joy Namani from Great Britain, 85 kilograms.
now obviously the pressure isn't as strong on a big deadlifter like Joy, but if you look at the podium projections right now, it's still very tight. Can't necessarily let your foot off the gas when Inda has her deadlift.
And you really want those points on the board, those kilos on the board during the bench press, just to put you in a little bit of a better position for the deadlift.
And I think Joy has done it.
And she's got that one.
Listen,
3 white lights.
If she ends up winning it, it might be because she was so bang on with her squat.
And how
she
many
got
times do we see 2.5 kilos differ between the winner and second place in the overall?
A race this tight.
Andy Carlisle, the young lady I was just talking about. So she is looking for 90 kilograms.
Yes, from Australia. This is Andy, 90 kilos on the bar.
Resting in 5th place for the bench. 90 kilos on the bar.
Really depends what everyone else is going to do.
That is a very big bench press in the 52 kilo class.
And Olga from Russia has opted just to try and equal her world record of 102.5, and I think that's a wise decision.
Yeah, it's an M1 world record, so she's not allowed to chip it in the open. Nope, I don't think so.
Too much for her to move. Just overreaching a little there, and that was 2.5. I mean,
It was worth a shot, that's for sure.
Nothing
She
else you
needs the
can do.
kilos, yeah. Now, speaking of 2.5, so this is a defending world champion, and
Marissa Rinda. There are so many people in the mix for this competition.
yeah,
Those top 3 places are going to battle each other.
this would nudge her 5 kilo ahead of Joy. Joy opening 10 kilo ahead in the deads, but you got to try to mitigate that and make Joy have to work. Oh, nicely done.
handles it with style.
Yeah, and she's done her job in the bench press, 3 for 3. That's what she needed. And you see how quickly she shrugged off the squats. Gets the fist pump from her coach/boyfriend, Chad Wesley Smith.
Joanna Reba from Canada, looking at 97.5.
Joanna had a pretty good scrap with 95 kilos. Obviously, this is a pretty good 2.5 kilo jump. It's an attempt to move into bronze medal on the bench. She might as well go for it.
Yeah, look, I think it's probably a smart move. I mean, 2.5 is the minimum you can hit anyway.
And you would never balk at a potential medal at the World Championships. Nope. She had to take a stab at that, though. That's a bronze medal.
Too much. Yeah, look, it was the right move. I mean, there was nowhere else to go. 97.5 was the only option she really had.
Yep.
And it was certainly worth a try.
But far more misses in the third round of benching than hits.
Yeah, it's quite interesting. And now Sofia Waldemarsson from Sweden looking at 102.5.
Can we see her go 3 for 3 here?
This is just a smidge under double body weight.
This would make her, well, she is in the gold medal, but the Russian's coming after her with the exact same weight. She needs to hit this. And she does.
And she gets it.
So that is your gold medalist, no matter what Olga does, because Olga is the heavier lifter, looking to match with the 102.5. But Olga's probably looking ahead at building that total.
Yeah, I mean, Olga's experienced, the Russian coaches are experienced. They are going to be looking at that deadlift, that final nomination number. You know, they want the opportunity. They're sitting in third position. They've closed the gap a little on
Considerably.
second.
Yeah.
There's only 2.5 kilos between her and the Inder from USA. And realistically, that 415 projected total from Joy, that's within reach as well.
She's doing work in this bench press event. In the subtotal, she's actually 5 kilos ahead of Marissa without this bench press.
Yeah, I mean, if Olga comes out into the deadlift round and really just does her job,
Yeah, she could pull it out.
and just can't quite get it up there.
Now, here's a little stat for you. Last year when Marissa Inda won the World Championships, she was the only lifter that was vying for the gold that hit 2 out of 3 deadlifts. Joy only hit her opener. Olga only hit her opener. And when we say it's not where you start, it's where you finish.
Yeah, and if you look at that list in the third lifts, I mean, a lot of these girls have missed a couple of extra kilos, and we can see in the totals there, the gaps have just shrugged down a bit. You know, Joy is on 415 predicted total with deadlifts to come. Inda's on 410. You know, and Olga's on 405. You know, you've got 10 kilos separating third from first place. So the game is anyone's at the moment.
I mean, we said it before. There's no questioning Joy has a phenomenal deadlift, but she needs more than one to win.
Yeah, I mean, you can open at 160. What's Joy opening at 180 kilos, which is fantastic. Yeah, but if she only adds 5 kilos to it, the Russian could quite easily come through, add an extra 15 kilos to her opener, take the gold medal away.
And I got news for you. Marissa Inda might be opening at 170, but she's not finishing with 170. So if you finish with 180, she finishes 190. Yeah. Do the math.
Yeah, so here's a long way to run this, so don't go too far away. We've got a 20-minute break now. We're going to come back and we're going to watch these top 3 girls battle it out for the gold medal at the World Championships in Calgary.
Don't go anywhere.
Welcome back to the 2018 IPF Classic Powerlifting World Championships in Calgary, Canada. And we are just about to kick off our deadlift session here with Catherine Lakis from Austria starting at 122.5. And we get a bit of a battle between Russia, USA, and Great Britain.
Yeah, it's definitely going to come down to how they choose their deadlifts and who's got the most gas to pull for those positions in the third.
So we're about 10 seconds away from starting off. So these opening lifts will give us a little bit of an indication of how much gas they've got left in the tank.
Yep.
And I think the top three are a fair way out in front. Although Ecuador could actually challenge for a bronze medal. And Kathleen Lakis from Austria, 122.5.
Nicely done.
And that is a good opening lift right there, 122.5. Nothing too difficult, 3 white lights.
Just don't want to lean too far back and unlock your knees. We've seen that happen. You only have to be upright.
Ana Paula Almeida from Brazil looking at 125. So this should be a personal best from competition. She hit 122.5 at the World Championships last year.
Her nomination has 135, so maybe last year she didn't register the deadlift she wanted.
125 kilos for Brazil.
125 kilograms. She's had a bit of a rough start to the day.
Nicely done.
But that looks good.
Very smooth.
Andy Carlisle from Australia is looking at 132.5.
132.5 kilos. She hails from Australia. She's a teacher. Bars loaded.
She's hit a 142.5 on a nomination and a deadlift PR of 145. So this should be moving quite well for her, we suspect. And it does.
Handles that with no problems at all.
Yeah.
Again, another young lady with a rough start to the day.
You know what? The Brazilian
bounced back.
Yeah, the Brazilian, the Australian team, and the lifters righted the ship. They're right back on track.
Anna Komleva from Russia, 140 kilograms.
Bars loaded for Anna from Russia. 140 kilos.
Now, someone pointed out to me earlier that the weigh-ins for the top 3 lifters are only separated by tens of grams. So Joy weighed in at 51.87, Inda weighed in at 51.85, and Olga weighed in at 51.86.
Yikes, wow, maybe a little foreshadowing, who knows?
Dekkers from the Netherlands looking at 145.
Nicely done, never pulled out of position.
And she does hold a European record at 143.
All right, the next lifter is loaded for Premji.
So Premji from New Zealand wants 147.5.
One note here, Olga actually dropped her opener by 10 kilo.
Yeah, she was originally opening at 160.
And I'm not entirely sure the decision
Now,
behind
she
that.
did come off the bench press, like she may have hurt herself a little.
Yeah, she had a leg cramp, didn't she?
Yeah, so she may hit the 150 just to see how she is.
Yep, not a bad idea.
Sophia Watermussen from Sweden wants 150.
Sophia had a really good squat and bench, built a nice subtotal.
Sophia is another record holder with a 160.5.
That's Swedish national record holder.
It's pretty stiff competition out there. We've got so many of these girls that hold records in the different disciplines.
Yep, nicely done.
Handles that opener well. Joanna Reba from Canada wants 150.
Now her nominated bench, 157.5. Let's see how 150 moves for her.
The anesthesiologist.
Yeah, so she did 157.5 at the national championships last year.
That was pretty nice.
And
Textbook
that was
stuff.
a pretty good opening lift. Olga from Russia. Now we find out how she is feeling after that bench press.
She put in some stiff work in the squats, and then in the bench press, that back and the hamstring tightened up on her.
So it may have just been a cramp, but we're about to find out how she is feeling.
If it is something she's dealing with, that Ecuadorian now is eyeing that bronze.
Yeah, there's some room there for her to come through.
You had mentioned she was
Pushes
close
her
enough.
a little bit closer. Yeah, she's such an experienced lifter. She's going to do this lift and know what she's got left. She stands it up without any real problems.
Was she totally locked out her shoulders? I
She
guess
gets
so.
the 3 white lights.
Let's take another look at this. It's pretty slow at lockout. She's totally upright. But it was slow, but she also squats that way. So I
Yeah,
don't know
she's
if
not a
that's how
fast lifter.
yeah, she might like to move weight that way. Hard to read this one, eh?
Be interested to see what her second attempt is.
157.5 kilos. The bar is loaded for
Emma Goodwin from Great Britain, 157.5.
Olga may be looking to defend bronze as opposed to threaten silver at
Well,
this
I've
point.
just seen the Russian coach walk over and put the attempt in, so we'll know any second now.
A little suspenseful.
Bless you.
And she puts in a 160 for a second. So it looks like she's going to try and hang on to that bronze medal.
Nicely done.
Nice, strong.
And Emma pulls that one to the top without any problems.
The bar is loaded. Amanda Folks, New Zealand, 157.5.
Amanda Folks from New Zealand looking for 157.5 as well. Don't see a whole lot of conventional lifters
I was
in
just
these
thinking,
lower weight
yeah.
classes.
One of them you do is Marissa Inda. Marisa. Well, the engine actually revved a little for that opener,
Yeah,
didn't
she
it?
had to turn up the turbo just a little.
The lift is good.
But she gets the 3 white lights.
So here might be your bronze medal.
There we go. So Vargas Vilma Ochoa from Ecuador is looking at 160.
You know, these are our medal favorites rounding out the Ecuadorian, Joy of Great Britain, and Inda of U.S. It really depends how much Olga has left in the tank.
So we'll see how Vargas Vilma from Ecuador hits a 160. And then pretty soon we'll know just what Olga's got left in the tank
Yeah,
and see how she goes defending that bronze medal.
I think we got fights for gold and for bronze coming up. Olga's gonna
Makes
fight.
that look easy.
Olga's
yeah,
gotta
Olga's got a
fight.
fight coming to her. The Ecuadorian is going to bring it right to a door. Hello.
Yeah, see you in the third attempts.
Don't open the door, Olga.
170 kilos from Vanessa in the United States of America.
Okay, so Marisa Inda, she had a bit of a rough squat session. Missed her
Yeah, she's
opener
been
in
a bit all
squats,
over the shop, hasn't she?
but she had rebounded very nicely in the bench. Hoping to build
This
on that
opening
momentum.
lift for her is super important. It needs to be smooth. It needs to be relatively easy so she can start the challenge for that gold. And that looks
Wow.
nice.
That was a very nice 170.
That was a good opening lift. She's got a bit in the tank.
You know, if
you're Joy looking at that, you're starting to think, ooh.
Okay, yeah, Marissa's going to have plenty more and could try to pull for the win. She's just got to keep it tight.
Joy Namani from Great Britain now 180. Now she is our predicted favourite at 415.
Yeah, on projected, but let's say, okay, so Marissa missed some squats, but it was on depth, not because of strength, whereas Joy had to struggle mightily twice.
Yeah, she has put a lot of work in, and so she has burnt up a lot of energy.
I had mentioned last year when Marisa beat Joy, it's because Marisa got 2 out of 3 deads and Joy only her opener.
So the important thing here is for Joy to hit this without using too much energy, so she's got a little left in the tank.
And she's a phenomenal deadlifter, believe me. Just so you know, 190 is the current record. Joy very capable of breaking that.
Didn't look too tough. It was a little slow in the lockout, but it wasn't too tough of a lift.
Yeah. You know what? It was fair. I think we still have questions, right? We're not sure. It's going to be a scrap.
I'm not 100% convinced yet.
Look, I'm not a betting man, but I wouldn't want to bet on anyone just yet. This is going to be a tight race.
So we're back to the start for attempt 2. Ana Paula Almeida from Brazil looking at 130.
Nice 5-kilo jump for Anna.
Just taking her time. That was a very good lift. She has plenty left.
Pretty much textbook for sumo, slow off the ground, and once she got momentum, locked it out.
Catherine Lakees for her second attempt from Austria, looking at 132.5.
At least we know with Almeida, whatever she puts in the third, we could probably expect a big fight because she's got a lot of fight in her.
So Joy Namani from Great Britain is putting 192.5 for her second attempt.
That will be a world record, sir.
She is sending a message. No problems for Catherine Lakees from Austria.
Yeah, Joy, it'll be her own.
Carlisle from Australia, 142.5.
It'll be her own world record she's breaking, and she's doing it in her second attempt. So we can only assume she feels good.
It's 12.5 kilo jump at 180. Came up quick. Yeah, it was a little bit slow at the top.
Come on now, Andy.
142.5, so a 10 kilo jump for Andy Carlisle. And it's certainly no problem for her.
Very nice, Andy.
Puts it down gently. And 3 white lights. Anna Komleva from Russia, 150 kilograms.
Nice 10-kilo jump, the 2012 World Cup winner. And just so you know, so if Joy gets this, she'd be at the projected 427.5 total. The world record held by Inda is 430. So we are really getting to...
So she might be taking a play at a couple of records here.
Yep. And pacing to blow past them if she can nail these.
Having to work hard for that.
Yeah. Not a whole lot of room to go.
She She gets the white lights, though.
It should also be said, if Joy misses her second attempt and only moves forward with her opener, Inda moves past her with just her second lift and still has a third.
Yes, that's certainly a very big call to go for that record on a second lift.
Yeah, 100%. It's we shall see. These are going to be entertaining second attempts. Oh, wow, lots of heart shown there.
So that was Dekkers from the Netherlands.
And
now Susan Premji from New Zealand, 155.
And kind of interesting, the Ecuadorian, if Olga misses hers and the Ecuadorian doesn't miss, she's going to tie in total with the Russian after her second attempts, and their body weight is the exact same.
So it will come down to lot numbers.
Yeah. Talk about a tight race. Wow. Second attempts are going to be entertaining. I can't wait for thirds.
And Suzanne Premji from New Zealand gets 3 white lights. Sophia Waldemarsson from Sweden, 157.5. 157.5.
And she's having a good day, just hanging below the top 4 we've been mentioning. Nice sumo pull.
Gets that to the top.
Yep.
And she should get the 3 white lights, and she does. Joanna Reba from Canada, she wants 157.5 as well. Just giving the spotters a bit of a break there.
Nicely done.
Stands up to the top.
Yep.
And a good second lift. Olga from Russia is next, hitting this 160. Now it's a very, very important lift for her to defend the bronze medal.
We've been talking about how important even these second attempts are. She has the Ecuadorian breathing down her neck.
And now the 150 wasn't an overly tough lift, and I sort of feel the 150 was to test whether she was okay.
It was slow, but perhaps she moves them slow. We're going to have to find out. The Ecuadorian is definitely watching in the back. They have a screen back there.
Yeah, she wants to take a run for the bronze medal.
If they smell blood. It's work.
Yeah, she certainly had to work a little bit, but it was no real speed difference compared to her first lift.
So hard to read, isn't she? Because they're always slow like that.
Doesn't give anything away. If you're a coach watching that out the back and you're trying to figure out whether she's struggling or not,
I'm not sure.
I've got no idea.
But the Ecuadorian is going to pull after Olga, so they're going to put a number into. Yeah, they're going to load whatever it takes to get the bronze.
Amanda Folks from New Zealand looking at 165.
So in this case, Olga has the higher lot number. She had to wait longer to weigh in. But tie will go to her.
Really taking her time getting set up.
Although the Ecuadorian's going to pull heavier.
Just wants everything right. That was another good lift from Amanda Folks. Gets 3 white lights. Emma Goodwin from Great Britain, 167.5.
Nice 10-kilo jump here.
can see just how focused she is. Gets it to the top, locks it out,
Nicely done.
and gets the 3 white lights. Here comes the Ecuadorian Vargas Vilma Ochoa, looking at 170 and looking to knock on Olga's door.
Now, we've seen at 160 look for Olga, and slow but hard to read because that just seems to be the way she lifts. Let's see how 170 works for the Ecuadorian.
And Olga is only put in a 165 for a second lift.
Now, will the Ecuadorian smell blood with that? She can obviously move. It might be a placeholder. But the Ecuadorian's going to pull after her either way. Oh, no,
And
Olga.
she has no problems with that.
Oh, no, Olga.
She's walking up the path. She's getting very close to that front door.
I think she marked off the platform and
about
right
to-
up to her front door,
She's
sir.
about to knock on the ring the doorbell.
Taking a look at all the windows.
So Marissa Inder is looking at 180.
This would put her at a 420 projected. Joy's current subtotal is 415. Joy's got to hit her second and push back the charge of Inda. And boy, is Inda charging. Wow, she has
Wow.
a lot left in the tank. Shots fired at Joy.
She's got a bit up her sleeve in case she wants to pull for that gold medal.
A lot of pressure on Joy to hit this. This is a world record attempt, but with the bigger picture in play. Whew.
Yeah, this will be interesting. Joy's 180 wasn't bad, but it wasn't fast in the lockout.
You know, you could argue that Inda's second attempt looked better than Joy's first. However,
So this is a world record attempt at 192.5.
you got to think she's going to put the foot on the gas when it's a world record attempt, get herself more amped up, possibly rise to the occasion. Can she do it twice in a row?
That's a very, very big call. 12.5 kilos from her first lift. She's burned a lot of energy early on.
Some coaches won't put on a world record until the last attempt because it takes so much out of the lifter with all the nerves and everything. But Joy is a deadlift machine. Oh, wow, looked better than her
Looked
opener.
A lot better than her opening.
Whoa.
So she gets the world record.
Rising.
3 white lights.
Rising to the occasion.
And she just opens that gap up a little bit more.
Yikes, this is quite the battle now. You know, interesting. World record, but didn't take the chip. I think they should have took the chip, so it forces Inda up 2.5 kilo and not just up. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Those
it's
chips
interesting. And the Ecuadorian here has put in for 180, which if she gets it, will put it at 405. And if Olga misses her lift, she'll stay at 405. But Olga will still get the bronze medal. So it's an interesting choice there. Ana Almeida from Brazil, 137.5.
Yeah, she's a fighter. You've seen that in the squats. Has the heart of a lion. Let's see if we see a fight here in her final deadlift.
And Joy Namani has just put in a 200.
Yeah.
Locks
She's
it
good
out.
for it. Nicely done.
So Joy
white
Namani
lights.
has just put in a 200 for her third attempt. Catherine Laquise also looking at 137.5. We may see a few little changes
Yeah, I would
in those
expect.
top 3 or 4.
I would definitely expect some changes. These are mostly placeholder deadlifts. Can anyone stop the charge of Joy? Inda obviously looked like she had a lot left in the tank, but Joy looked like she's picking up
absolutely,
steam.
But is 7.5 kilos to go to a 200, a touch on the big side.
Well,
We
yeah.
will see.
If she pulls last, she'll just pull whatever she has to beat Inda. So I think that's a placeholder for Joy. It's going to be Inda who has to blink first. Oh, wow. What a struggle.
Catherine
Nice
Keys has had
done.
to work for this one.
Great choice
But
for
she
the
gets
last
it to the
weight.
top.
Yeah.
Way to go, Catherine.
Very well selected weight on that bar.
Austria powerlifting. What? Not one miss so far. Everybody's
Andy Carlisle from Australia wants 150 for a personal best, I believe. And it should be a personal best for her.
Nicely done again. Wow.
Big shout at the top. She's pretty
You know
happy.
what? All these third attempts thus far, the weight has been expertly chosen. I don't think another 2.5 kilo would have been possible.
Anna Komleva from Russia, 155. Now that 150 was tough.
Yeah. But I tell you what, Anna's pretty tough herself. 5 kilo jump. She has hit 160, but it doesn't matter what you hit on other days. It's what you have on today.
155.
She's been powerlifting for 8 years now. You're going to get the chalk on the bar.
So remember, the third lift of the deadlift the bar has to be clean between each lift.
Yep.
And this is going to be tough. She's going to really have to fight if she wants to get this lift up.
Nope.
And it's just a little bit too much for her.
Well, you had suspected 150 was quite the battle.
Lewin Dekkers from the Netherlands wants 155. Now her second lift was tough, but it certainly looked like she still had 2.5 kilos in the tank.
The Netherlands. She's got 155 on the bar, and she's looking to go 3-3. The bar is loaded.
Nope.
Just a little bit too much for her. Got off to a good start, but just lost the momentum.
Yeah, that hip pump broke the ground, but that's all she wrote.
Susan Premji from New Zealand wants 160 to finish her day. Yeah, nice 5 kilo jump to 160, and I think that's quite reasonable for her.
Yeah, we just had everybody's really towing that line. The 3 deadlifts that passed were grinders, and they had not a single half kilo more in them, showing lots of heart. And now you're seeing a couple failures because they're really pushing themselves. Every placing is points for your national team. So even if you move from 8th to 7th,
Yeah, I mean, people at
6th
home
to
don't
5th.
forget, this is not just an individual sport, but
Yeah.
there's team points as well.
there's always a bigger picture why they're fighting for these last deads.
So you might think someone in 11th place has nothing really to push for, but if they can get themselves up to 10th or even 9th,
Yeah, it's exactly. And you do that in every single flight, well, it all adds up, doesn't it? Oh, wow, nicely scrapped.
has to work the lock. I think
Beautifully
she got
done.
there.
I think she knows it.
And
There
she
we
does.
go.
She gets the 3 white lights.
Comes to shake the hands of the judges. That was a very well placed weight as well. And
Yeah, she had to work pretty hard, but she got it up there. Sofia Watermassen from Sweden, 162.5. I think it's great to see these athletes finish their last lift, go out, shake the hand of the referees.
Yeah, it
These
shows a lot of
referees give up their
respect.
time to come here. They're volunteers.
Yep.
Yeah, some of them pay their own way here as well. And here comes our Swedish competitor, 162.5. Looks like she wants it. Gets it to the top. I think
Another
she's
good
locked
fight.
It looks like she's locked.
Yep. 3
white
white lights.
Joanna Reber.
Joanna Reber from Canada looking at 162.5.
Taking a nice 5 kilo jump from her second attempt. Looking to go 3 for 3 here and finish the day. Hovering around 6th place.
Yeah, top 3, there hasn't been any changes or movement to those.
If Joanna can maintain her 6th rank, do Canada some justice with points.
162.5.
Let's go, Joe.
Having to work through there,
I
but
think
she gets
she's
to
got
the top.
it. Yeah.
And let's see what the referees say. Make sure those knees were locked.
That's all she needs. And that
She
was
gets
another
2.
really good weight attempt. Good
Now,
selection by the coaches.
Olga from Russia looking at 165. And I think if she pulls this, we may see a change from the Ecuadorian athlete.
Yeah, she's really just kind of see what
She's just going to
Olga's going
sit
to
back
do.
and wait, see what happens.
This would put Olga at a 410 total if she hits this. And the Ecuadorian can change.
Ecuadorian would have to pull 187.5, I think.
So Olga's hoping this extra 5 kilo makes the Ecuadorian have to load too much that she can't pull it. She's got to force the Ecuadorian's hand here, because if she misses, the Ecuadorian is far more comfortable with 180 loaded on the bar. 185, dicey proposition. All the pressure on Olga right now. Oh my gosh.
And she's at the top.
Is she
And
not
she's
a tiger?
smiling.
Yeah, she knows.
Now, for the Ecuadorian to overtake, she's going to have to pull, I think, 187.5. And that's a tough lift because that 187.5 is actually her best equipped lift.
Yeah. I mean,
That's a tough call.
Olga wanted to make the Ecuadorian uncomfortable, and I think she did it.
New Zealand, 172.5.
We'll
So
see.
Amanda Fox from New Zealand, 172.5.
One eye on the platform, one eye on the score sheet to see if the attempts change for the Ecuadorian. Her nominated dead, 175. We're already beyond that with 180 getting loaded, so it's a big ask.
It is a big ask.
It is it's a Hail Mary. It's a Hail Mary.
175 was lifted back in 2016
Oh, wow.
championships. She lifted 172.5 last year in a national Pan American championship.
She might just pull for a deadlift medal and say, you know what, it's too big an ask. And fair play if
We'll
you know.
wait and see. Amanda Fox from New Zealand, 172.5. Really takes her time with the setup.
Whoa, the engine's revving. Holy!
And she's got it
Talk
past
about
the
hard on this
knees.
one. Yikes.
And she gave that everything she had.
Quite the show there.
But just couldn't quite get there.
Willing to empty the gas tank for every kilo.
She gave it everything.
Yeah.
Emma Goodwin from Great Britain looking for 177.5.
Look at those knees rattling as she just would not stop fighting for it and never let it rest on her thighs. Okay, the Ecuadorian still hasn't changed her last attempt. This will pull her into a bronze medal in the deadlifts. Bronze medal at stake here.
Emma Goodwin looking for 177.5.
And wouldn't a bronze medal be nice to walk away with and finish your day at the IPF Worlds? Especially considering the names that are in your flight. A who's who of powerlifting.
having to work that lock out, but I think she's got there.
Yeah, I believe so. 3 white lights, and that is a huge deadlift for the Brit. Puts herself in a bronze medal position.
Vilma Ochoa is looking at 180. She still has up until the bar loaded call to make a change.
Yeah, this is. I think she's pulling for.
I don't think she's going to.
Yeah, and fair play. I think it would have been a huge ask to pull for bronze overall.
Yeah, I'm not seeing any action over at the attempt table.
No, she's going to settle for the bronze in a dead as opposed to the bronze overall.
Given
much
that
more
187.5 is her best equipped lift, it's a big ask to pull that raw.
It would take a miracle, sir.
Even 180 here is an absolute monster lift for her.
Yeah.
But we've watched the last 2 lifts. I think she has the 180 in her.
But this is a bronze medal pull for Vilma, Ecuador.
Will the bronze medal for the deadlifts go to Ecuador?
No. Oh, and just couldn't quite hold it there.
At the last second, and the British lifter,
will get
Emma
the
Goodwin,
bronze medal in the deadlift.
Finishing 11th overall, but
so
third
she made a very smart decision on her last lift.
That's how you play it.
And the Ecuadorian walked up the path, knocked on Olga's door, but the response was, no thank you, we don't need any today.
Now Marissa Inda pulling for the win. She needs to hit this, and she needs Joy to miss her last attempt.
So 190 kilos.
This is
a
awesome.
Masters 1 world record.
Yep. 10-kilo
Here
jump.
She goes.
Whoa, she's fired up now.
Up for it. Can she threaten that gold?
Whoa, here she comes, revving the engine. Never stops pulling. Oh, it's stalling.
It's stalled. I think she's lost the momentum. She gave that everything she had.
One hell of a pull. Wow.
But she is safe in the silver medal overall.
Yeah, like a true champion. She was willing to empty that tank to defend her crown.
And she is safe in the silver medal for the deadlift.
So now Joy has the opportunity to lower.
And she did. She dropped to 1955.
Just enough for an overall world record. Why not?
Yeah, I mean, that was a smart move. She put the 200 in there to say, if you want it, come and get it.
Yeah.
But now she has the option to drop, which she did, and I think that was probably a smart decision. I think the 200 might have been just a little bit over the edge.
Joy has a chance now to leave with another world record in dead, a world record overall, and she's leaving as a world champion.
And the world championship.
Doesn't get much better than that. Truly historic day. Look at her smiling at the crowd.
So even without this lift, her gold medal is secure.
Even with that shaky
so
squat.
This is for some record, a little bit of extra bling.
Showed some true grit today.
This is a big, big lift.
Oh, wow. And she lock it out. And she does it.
She does.
She does it. Down command. And that should be good. 3 white lights. The biggest total ever registered in the 52-kilo class. Joy has won the world championships.
She is a world champion. She is a world record holder. And boy, did she get off to a shaky start with those squats.
Yeah, the high drama.
She came in there with a big chance. She hit those squats. There was a moment there where we thought, wow, is she out of the running here? She comes out, smashes that last squat, holds the bench well, and absolutely destroyed them in the deadlift, taking the world record twice and the world total record, getting the gold medal overall, the gold medal in the deadlifts. What an absolutely outstanding performance.
I think this is the World Championships, maybe a changing of the guard. If you look at the top 3, Inda born in 76, Olga born in 70, Joy 1992.
She's the young one coming through, but hats off to Olga from Russia. I mean, she had a big fight to hold out for that bronze medal, and she held the Ecuadorian at the door pretty well there and just put it too far away for the Ecuadorian to take a crack at it.
Absolutely. I mean, I think the takeaway here, this could be Joy's division for the next foreseeable future.
Look, I think we might see a bit of a changing of the guard. But look, it's been an absolutely fantastic competition, edge of your seat stuff, and there's more to come this afternoon. At 5 p.m. we've got the under 59 open men's, and now that is going to be a good one to watch.
The return of Fedoshenko.
I would be.
Don't
You
miss
do
it.
not want to miss that.
That's right.
You know, if you haven't watched him lift before, get online and watch it. You do not want to miss the under 59s. It will be absolutely incredible. So don't go too far away. We'll have some medal ceremonies, and at 5 p.m. we will be right back here watching some absolutely fantastic lifting.
we go. First category. Who has the medals? Oh, sorry. Thank you. Presenting the medals, we have two distinguished individuals. First, ladies and gentlemen, we have the president of the Asian Powerlifting Federation. A big round of applause for Farjeen Sultani. Yes. And ladies and gentlemen, the president of the International Powerlifting Federation, all the way from Luxembourg. Big round of applause for Gaston Pelage. Our first category, 52 kilo weight class open category. In the squat, the bronze medal winner, hailing from New Zealand, Amanda Fox. Silver medal from Russia, Olga Golubeva. And the gold medal winner from Great Britain, Joy Namani. Ladies, let's get some photos with front and center. No, hold, stop.
1, 2,
Not to the
3.
Thank you, ladies. You may step back. All right, let's go to our next category. The bench press, bronze medal winner hailing from the United States of America, Marissa Inda. Silver medal winner from Russia, Olga Golubeva. And the gold medal winner hailing from Sweden, Sofia Valdimarsson.
All right, ladies.
Photos.
All right, 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
Thank you, ladies. You may step back. Let's move on to the deadlift. Deadlift now. Bronze medal winner, Great Britain, Emma Goodwin. Silver medal winner, United States of America, Marissa Inda. And the gold medal winner with a new world record. Big round of applause for Joy Namani. Photos.
All right, ladies. 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
Total category. In the bronze medal position, Russia, Olga Golubeva. Silver medal winner, United States of America, Marissa Inda. And the gold medal winner with a new world record in total. Big round of applause hailing from Great Britain, Joy Namani. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the national anthem of Great Britain. Thank you, ladies. You may step back. And Mike, we'll get the same exiting music as we did for the entrance, Mike, right now. And Arian will escort our athletes off the platform from the audience. We'll give them a continuous round of applause.